All right, Supercoaches, let's get into it. As always, the early lockout lift for Supercoach, which is great. And we'll kick it off with the head-to-head squad this week. And sitting there with 29 trades available, a team value of 13.7 million, which is pretty cool. And a good score this week at 1324. Moved me from, almost 14,000 there, down to 7,500, which is great. And again, if I had have been able to captain Hines last week, that would have been somewhere in like the 3 to 4,000, I'd say, is where I'd be approximately. So we've had a really, really good bounce back in this head-to-head team. But before we get into everything too deeply in our squads, I do have 157k in the bank as well. I want to go through those last two games, which I promised I would in the review video just before. All right, Dolphins Knights. So everything's obviously locked in, ready to go. Jermaine Osako. So it was a really, really good score from him at 113 there, and he levels out his break even, which is good. Still down 103k. The thing is with him, guys, is that he has still got 200s this season. A couple of low scores in around it, obviously 47, 43, 58. So I imagine he'll be a little bit up and down depending on how they go on a week-to-week basis. This one was an interesting one. They actually decided finally to go right more than they have been in recent history, with Bostock being the one to get the low score this week and Osako to get a bigger score. So it's just how it worked. Obviously, they did go left a fair bit, but it was more through the sort of left third corridor of the field, where Fuller got a couple of line breaks. They had Aiken go through there as well. So they attacked there, and then they attacked on the right-hand side. And speaking of Trey Fuller, he is a very, very interesting purchase this week. Obviously going to make plenty of dough if he ends up getting this spot in the side. 87 and 99. The thing is with him, different to that of Schiller, is you can expect pretty good scores going forward. Yes, it's not likely he's going to be getting like line breaks and tries at all times, but he's so elusive. He is very quick. He's always in around the ball, and there's a chance that he continues to do pretty well, especially against the Cowboys. Yes, defensive intensity was good last week, but can they keep that up? So something to think about with Trey. The main issue there is if you have two fullbacks that are going pretty good. Like I'm sitting there with Turbo Walsh. Do you trade a Turbo, but he comes up against the Manly come up against Raiders this week, which is pretty crazy. So he's an interesting one to look at, obviously, but we'll get into that in the buy, hold, risk, sell. Plath with a 72, really, really good score as well. And he's a 440 odd now. So have a look at him for sure if you need someone in the 2RF or the 5/8 position. And Bostock now at 24. He sneaks up over 600k, and he's going to be a sell in my side here. So it wasn't a very good game for my head-to-head team in this one, with Kai Paul and Bostock both going fairly low. With Kai's 44, a bit of an off game from him. Lock him into play next week. He should have a big improvement off that. It'll be a lower score for him for sure. Jaden Bradley was 65, so he starts to make some good cash now at 42.6. He's up now, and that's a few decent games in a row building up. 37 into 42, 48 into a 65. So good stuff across the board from him in that one. Exactly what you would have wanted if you grabbed him last week, and even if you sat him on the bench and didn't play him, that's a really, really good get there. The big one here, obviously Armstrong, his first game of the year, so 84 for him on that front. Give him another week, I think. I understand people might want to go 1 week early to facilitate some trades that they want to make, and they do come up against the Wars, the Tigers, and the Titans over the next few weeks. So some pretty good matchups there. And if he does keep his spot on the side, then it's going to work out. If he doesn't, it might be a little bit annoying to go early on him. But either way, might work out for you. Lucas 67 was good. Elliott 58, solid enough. Dan Gagai, the one kind of mentioned last week with the goal kicking. Him at 658 now is a pretty interesting prospect, given he is obviously has a good base, and that's his second highest score of the year there of 89. I think that, as I said, with that kind of matchups to come, he should be able to do fairly well over the next month or so. And then the question becomes, does he make Origin? For the Raiders and the Sharkies, you've got here a really, really tough situation for the Raiders. And a few of them become sells, a few of them are holds. And I think Smithies is a hold at his price point. He's going to play all those big Origin weeks for you, which is helpful. And then you've got, Weeks came in and did okay. Obviously 38, a lot of kick meters, but doesn't help you in Supercoach. Schiller with the 36, he's ready to be sold. Chevy with 32, if you've got him now, just hold on. Obviously hope that he keeps his spot on the side and he can help you over the buy period. Seb Chris, not good, 25. Strange, 23. Not ideal either, and Levi, 27. With Strange, I think you can hold or sell. He's one of those guys that obviously, coming up against Manly, who might be missing a few players too, with Olakuatu and DC likely to be out. So that his left side, that might change things defensively for the Manly boys. But we'll see what happens. They have a bye in round 10. So if you can get through this week, hold through their bye, you won't lose any cash, and then you can maybe decide in round 11 because they play round 13, 16, 17 there for you, which is pretty cool. So interesting one. Hold or sell is completely fine. All right, let's get into the results. Let's go straight into leagues first. So, yeah, 13-24, end up losing by 10 in that public league there. The Whisperer, $50 one. I got a good win against Josh there. He's having a tough season, unfortunately. And then got pumped. 13.96 I got beat by in the 25. So, yeah, still some good scores going around there. Got a win. Still sits me in 17th. I've got 2 wins, a draw, and 5 losses in both of those comps. So, sitting in not the worst position overall wise, but just keep coming up against tough opponents when I'm do fairly well, I seem to lose those weeks. And when I do, poorly, it seems to be a close one for the most part, and I just lose them as well. So hopefully some wins to come. And I think I'm in a fairly solid position overall. Private group league for myself, we may as well have a look at that one there. Sitting in 11th spot, and my team there sitting in 9th spot, my overall team, which is cool. They're both very close in overall points, funnily enough. But shout out to Cooper. Miller's Men with 1376 moved almost 3,000 spots into 1700th overall. And what about that one? 1263 if you're sitting at 1857th overall. Made him 1 rank, David. So, yeah, congrats to those guys. They're doing really well in the top 2,000 each on that front. And then the full NRL community, we've got Brendan into 146, which is great, and Nathan at 311, Matty G at 442. So congrats to those guys there on that one. All right, let's get into the team now and see what's happening, make some decisions. So really the frustrating thing, guys, is that of Api Koroisau. Obviously, got the try taken away. That really hurt, that's for sure. Hopefully he does play this week because he has a nicer run coming up for sure, the Tigers do. If you're looking at their matchup here, it's obviously the Dogs, and I think that he can do a little bit of work through the middle. As good as the Dogs have been playing, it's obviously a nicer matchup than that of the Broncos and the Panthers, I should say. So yeah, hopefully he does play, but it's a frustrating situation now. 230 odds in a row. We need to bounce back there on that front. Thank goodness, and then last 626 is not super ideal at all, but he made money this week, and hopefully he can continue to hold there and. Got the bye this week. We don't have to worry about it and see what happens with Brendan Hands and who gets named. But, we could make some moves, obviously, with Brayley. But then, it's just how many trades you're using in certain positions is the tough one there for sure. Adam Finau-Blake, the big one there, guys, at 724,000, a big 117. So massive, massive news on his front there. That was a big, great score. And I'm so excited to own him. And I think a lot of people will look to target him. My main issue here is what happens in this second front row forward position. I don't have a Josh Curran, and he's probably someone that's pretty interesting as a purchase, just for the fact that he obviously is going to help out with all the buys as well. And then, Terrell May, such a frustrating situation. What's going to happen with him? We need to see team lists and kind of how it lines up with Radley coming back and the like, and we can make some further decisions on that front there. But what I do in this team was obviously I haven't got anyone that I can clearly just slot in for him, which sucks. And yeah, what do we do? What do we do? That's the question. With Sam Hughes sitting there at 368, does he get good minutes again, or is Kurt Mann and these guys back? And then Liam Henry just he's been losing money over the last few weeks, which is really tough. So yeah, that's a situation we have to monitor. That is for sure. And then in the 2RF position, Olakuatu got the sin bin. He said he cooked my boy Sean Lane. And then he lost points for that. Sean Lane obviously had a shocker as well. So Lane's going to sub out, that's for sure. We need to sort out this 2RF position this week because we're in a situation right now with Olakuatu likely to be missing for a couple of weeks. And then, Lane's out on the bye. Do we want to play Smithies week to week? It's a tough one. We might just have to lock in. We'll have to bring in a 2RF. We'll see how this one plays out for sure. And go from there. Someone like Maxi Plath could be a very easy trade in for this side, just to cover that section there. All right, Supercoach is... thanks for the reload, mate. Hopefully it doesn't slide on a little bit better. But anyway, Yeah, that's the 2RF position. A bit of an awkward one, but obviously a good score from Crichton. Olaquado still 69 was good on that front. Keeping Sean Johnson for his 93 over Hines' 50 was, over Cleary's 50 was a much better situation, and did just captain Hines straight out rather than mucking around with anyone else this week, which is great for the 160. Absolutely incredible. What a man, what a player there on that front. I didn't even go through the second game, did I? That's all right. Should I go back and fix it? I should go back and fix it. Don't know why I didn't even do that. Anyway, I didn't even go through. I went through the Raiders, but didn't go through the right-hand side in the Hines. But yeah, Hines 160, just absolutely incredible. 2 weeks in a row now, and he's made back all the money he's lost. Incredible efforts on that front. Guys, you might look to pick up. Obviously, if they continue to play well, the Ramians Katoas are going to continue to score well. Nikora as well, a first try of the year for him, I believe. And yeah, nice score of 93. Iro, if you haven't got him yet, he's up another good lot of cash and is a really good one to look at. Hazelton, if he keeps scoring tries, he's very expensive now, but could you look at him in your side? I'm not sure. Atkinson, I don't think you can buy him at fullback or halfback with the options available. And then Ronnie, after all that, 40-0, and he didn't get involved in anything, which is hilarious how that one's worked out. And he's been in absolutely everything in all of the other games. So there you go. That's, this is the review on that one. But Hines is great. And Johnson, I'll stick with that for now. Could be, tempted to get a Cleary, but at this point, I think we're just going to hold strong with those two guys. There's so many other trades that I need to make in this side, and we're running out of trades. It's hard to do. Dylan Brown, 64, not the worst. Galvin will slot in for Brown this week, which is cool. He's going to be helpful over the buys, and hopefully when Moses comes back, he can score a bit better. But yeah, my trade-ins this week of Pap and Meanie both worked out really well, 84 and 92 for those two guys. Very happy with that. Playing Bostock for 24 wasn't great. And then Taylor May's 39. It was May, it was Smithies or Galvin. That kind of route there is what we were playing. And then Strange was the other option. So he scored better than Strange, at least 6 short of Smithy. So nothing crazy on that front. Drinkwater 39 with a try assist. Not great at all, but he comes up against the Dolphins this week and his draw starts to open up. And a lot of people are going to want him. So that'll be cool. I've got a few guys to look at in the centre wings. Obviously, guys like Holmes, Garrick, they're all really cool options. I've got solid guys, but Bostock now at 601k. He can go straight to any of these top guns with the cash that I have available at 157. I think we'll look at improving those kind of positions there. And then potentially, I think Maxi Plath could be a pretty easy play there. We'll have to work out what we're doing in front row forward as well. If Curran as well is a buy as well as Maxi Plath. If we then just go, Bostock to Garrick or to Val Holmes or something like that, we'll have a little play with that over the next few days. And round 9, we've got 3 days, 8 hours. So we're back to normal programming there with the Thursday night game. South up against Panthers. So is anyone going to straight out captain Nathan Cleary, or are they going to vice captain him if they own him? So there you go. That's the head-to-head team. Let's move to my overall team now. Alrighty, a 1293 for my squad there. It was solid, could have been better. My trade-in of Isaac Tungo didn't work out too well this week. He had probably one of the worst games of his career, to be honest with you. So it's only up from here, to be honest, which is great. It did improve rank still into 5,687, and it's been an improvement each and every week. Team value a little bit higher than that of the head-to-head team. Might be because of the cash in bank, but not sure. And 1 extra trade on hand with 2 boosts remaining. So yeah, that's cool on that front. But again, there's so many different guys that need to be traded out. That's the tough thing in the moment. But 101k in the bank, 101,000 in the bank. As I said, 30 trades there. Moved things around already just to kind of get a little idea. So I played Brown, obviously. I moved Galvin over just to see how things look. But the trading of Walsh worked out okay, 74 for him. Nothing crazily spectacular, but it worked out all right. Turbo's 55, so a bit low down there. And then in the center wing position, very happy with Holmes' 76. As I said, Tungo's trade in a 34, not great. We've got a little bit of a trouble here on the bench with Strange, Burbo, and Talangi, so something we do have to monitor there. Hines and Hughes worked out good, 160 and a 95 from those two. Again, I'll stick solid with them because Melbourne come up against the Titans this week as well, so he should continue to get a good score. Will he do as well as what Cleary might this week? Probably not, but we also banked 45 extra points than that of Cleary, unless he updated from the 50. I'm not actually sure what he ended up with, 51 or something like that. I think it actually ended up at. But yeah, we banked 40 odd extra points. So if we lose 40 odd this week on it, then fine, not a problem at all. Given we didn't have to make the trade and we paid a lot less. So yeah, if Hughes can get 95 and Cleary gets 130, then happy days, no problems there at all. Especially if Hines goes good again. But yeah, that's that situation there. In our 2RF, it's Eli Katoa continuing to score well, losing money on his 78, tough times. Bo Fermor 59, happy enough with that. He's got a higher break even this week at 60, but that's still fine. Kaipi Spall 44, Smithies 45. So we'll look to try and not play Smithies. It looks like that he's not going to get 80 of the next few weeks, unless it's closer. Like if they keep getting smashed, he's not going to play 80. There's no point. And yeah, so 2RF sitting in a solid position at that. And then you've got the front row forward with, Curran, May, Willison, and Hughes. May's obviously the issue. Could you hold him? Yes, he has 100 break even or 90 odd or something like that. I think 90 something there, 91. So it's not the worst, but if he comes out and actually plays good minutes again, he could hit anywhere near that, right? 70s, 60s, 80s. We know what he can do. But yeah, he's a slight worry at the moment. Then the Coruscant Lussick situation as well. Hopefully Coruscant plays and then we don't have to worry about that position for now. We'll obviously look at Brayley going forward, but at this stage, Coruscant, Lussick, I think they're just going to be held and we're going to have to make a few moves in other positions. I think trying to get Garrick, it's going to be, an easy play in that one. The Trey Fuller situation's a tough one. If you look to trade Turbo this week, he comes up against the Raiders, which is a tough little play at Four Pines Park to go against Turbo and not have him as an option. That's for sure, especially when I don't have Cleary in this team. When in that situation, having Turbo as vice again can be very, very helpful. And if Appy wasn't to play, then I have Lussick. I can just slot into that and put the C on him and go from there. If Turbo happened to go and blitz it, that's for sure. So yeah, there's a few things to think about in this squad at the moment. But yeah, it's like 2 or 3 trades this week. It seems like for everyone, because guys are either, you've got an issue with May, you've got an issue with Lussick, you've got an issue with Coruscant. Potentially you've got an issue with Olakau'atu. Do you get Cleary in? You have Brown out this week. Do you need to get Plath? Does he become an option, given he's scoring really well? Did you miss out on Crichton? There's that as well. Do you want to get Fuller into your fullback position? Do you have Schiller? Do you have Strange that are potentially issues? Do you still have Talangi? You probably want to get the likes of the Garricks, the Tungos, who's gotten so much cheaper after that low score on the weekend. Do you want do you want to get Drinkwater in because their draw starts to get easier? Do you want Holmes over the next few weeks as well? So there's so many decisions to make with guys that are going to be losing cash now. Like Strange, we probably wanted to keep him, but if he's going to hit 30s or something over the next few weeks, thankfully they have a bye next week, and you can't lose too much in 1 week. Fingers crossed. But yeah, is he a trade because of that reason? Or do you try and hold him through to, as I said, round 13, 16, and he can cover center wing or 5/8 and a few different positions there for you, which is great. So yeah, plenty to think about coming into round 9, that's for sure. And obviously with trades in mind as well. Make sure you do look to the next few weeks, obviously coming up, but looking into the bye period and especially on round 14, 17, 20. I think round 13, 16, 19, not very difficult to cover 13 players out of 25. Yeah, you could have 14 or 15. It takes your best 13 guys for those that aren't sure. But for round 14, you need that full 17 on the park in the correct positions, obviously, with one auto emergency. But 14, 17, 20, they're I think they're going to be the tough ones, especially if you overload in 13, 16, 19, or you're carrying a few red dots. Yeah, I'm sitting there with Talangi at the moment. Burbo might not come back, so not too bad. And Chan's kind of scoring okay enough to be a playable 17th guy in that week. Those tougher weeks, or like in round 13 and 16 or 19 if he continues to keep that spot. But yeah, there you go. Lots to think about in that situation at the moment. Let's look to our leagues and obviously where we're at. I said 9th in the private group. I suppose the big one here is just the Podmasters. Overall, I'm 25th out of 97 now, so on the improve, almost at a quarter in the top quarter, I should say. Some still solid weeks from the guys up top. Alex with in at 10th with 1332. Brandon at 32nd now, still a really good position. Massive week from Andrew, 1473, moved from just inside the top 1,000 to 160. So well played, incredible effort there. Ryan unfortunately went back a little bit. with 11.52, and then Alex, the next two guys on the list, Alex and Luke, with 14.43 and 14.53. So the massive moves here, they moved from well outside the top 1,000 clearly into the top 1,000 there. So incredible work from them. Brian, General Physio, had a great week at 13.08, moves into 13.71. So congrats to him. Jake, who I got pumped against in the Podmasters Seeded 2 League, he got 14.08. So a really good score from him. He moves from well outside the top 5,000 to 1,618. Moving on to other guys that we may know of, obviously myself there at 25th, which is good. And then Tommy Sangstar at 7,300, not too bad. Trent Copes, 13.29, he's into the top 10,000 now. Guru unfortunately didn't captain Hines, so he went to 12.17 out to 9,500, which is obviously frustrating. Timmy Moody, a tough one for him, 11.59. Again, anyone that didn't captain Hines kind of got whacked here, obviously, with his 160. Timmy Williams, 1,080. It's a tough one. He went more than doubled his rank, sadly. Went out 9,400 spots into 16,858. I don't think he has Iro either. Not sure why. Yeah, I think his reasoning there was he didn't want to captain a player against his Raiders, I heard him say. So, tough one of that. Brainball, Nathan there, 1374, big score there, was helpful for him. Adrian there, Scoop at 1280, so solid enough to almost gain him 10,000 spots, so happy with that. Rob Sutherland there at 1215, he's down at 25,000 unfortunately. And then a few of the other guys down here. Hopefully can have some good weeks. We got Matty the Waterboy, unfortunately for him, 1,094 out to 40,000, so hopefully he can bounce back for sure. And I think that's enough on the Podmasters side, that's for sure. Who else are we looking at? The Rook. For those that follow beers and break evens, it's Kat the Rook, 21,000. So she lost some spots as well. Obviously didn't captain Hines either. Reserved Hines. Had Johnson and Hines, no Cleary, and still copped it. That's tough. Got Taylor May, Savage. Even got Chance. Be a Captain Turbo for the 55. So losing out 109 points, which puts you at 1250. So it's just a massive difference. If you didn't captain Hines, you got cooked this week, and that's that. So get him in, make sure he's in your squads, obviously, and then Cleary's the other one if you want, depending on what situation you're at. If you don't have Hines or Cleary, then you've probably got an interesting combination. Hopefully it is Sam Walker, but if it isn't, then look to get one of those guys in your side. Walker's an interesting one. It does sound like that Luke Keary is a high chance of retiring today, which is massive news, and I hope he's okay. I hope it's the best decision for him and his family going forward. And we'll see how that one plays out. But there you go. Thanks for listening in to this episode, guys, of the round results for round 8 there. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next video for Supercoach on Wednesday.